Something that I find really interesting about black hair is people always want to use like black hair or locks or black hairstyles or cornrows when they want to put on a persona of being hard. And I think it's because our natural hair is associated with being rough and being tough and being hard. I feel like it's been a rise in blackfishing. Different.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really have to? There is nothing I can say.
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's world. Hi y'all, welcome to Mayowa's world. My name is Mayowa, and on my channel I talk about colorism, featureism, and texturism. Today we are going to be talking about texturism and cultural appropriation. I have a new little setup in my room where I'm sitting down. Normally I stand up when I make my videos, but I'm trying to be more comfortable so I can create more consistent content. What's been new? Oh, okay. So before I get into my video, this is like the first time in a long time that I've put my hair up. I don't know how y'all do it. Like with locks, I feel like putting my hair up, it just feels so tight. And I feel like there's a sensitivity that happens when you lock your hair to your scalp where you just become way more sensitive to like change, especially with freeform locks. But I don't know how you updo people do it. These updos is intense, but let me know if you like, the new updo. I don't know what the back is looking like. The back might not be looking like the front, but the front is cute. I feel like it's giving, girl next door, just really wholesome. So today I want to talk about why I will never be okay with people cultural appropriating black hairstyles, especially locks. There's been a lot of things that have been in media that I want to reflect on. First thing being at the forefront is there is a boy called Daryl George, who is an 18-year-old boy in Texas, who has been suspended for 2 weeks because he has locks. So Daryl George, who is the 18-year-old boy in a high school, he is taking his school to court because they are there's a Crown Act that passed that is supposed to stop people discriminating against natural hair. But they're saying that because of the length of the hair, that is inappropriate. And that's why I also feel like discussing gender expectations and breaking out of gender binaries is really important as Black people, because this idea that men should have short hair and like long hair is something that should be for women is also something that affects a lot of natural hair people too, because when your locks are short, you're more masculinized, and when your locks are longer, you're more feminized. And so because his locks have gotten past a certain point, they don't think that that's appropriate for boys. So there's also like a lot of things going on in here. And the reason I'll never be okay with culture vultures coming and wearing locks is because they will never experience any of these systemic discriminations. And doing these hairstyles are not something that is even innate to their culture in the same way that it is to Black people. Okay. And then, people are going to always bring up the Vikings, but have you done history on the violence of the Vikings? Like, if that's who you want to claim, then do your own your Viking locks. If those are the people if that's the ancestor you want to evoke, then do that. But for us Black people, our hair has literally been, people who are descendants of transatlantic slave trade, they were coming and putting seeds in their hair so they can go and grow their own food. They were having maps put into their hair. There's certain, I'm Yoruba, there's certain hairstyles that is for people who are married or people who are single or people, and literally also linked to genuinely pretty much all African spirituality has a distinct relation to how our hair plays into it. Like, I don't even want to get into it because I'm not trying to give all the recipes on the internet, but there's a lot of power and spirituality that is also linked to our hair. And I think two sentences can be true at the same time. I think this idea that it's just hair, and hair means nothing, and you can cut your hair off and you can grow your hair off, can be true to some, and it can also be true to say that it is not just hair. Because if our hair that grows out of our own scalp can get us to lose jobs, can get us to have higher rates of criminality or like legal criminality, can get us to have be put in dangerous situations and can be forcibly removed without our consent and can withhold us from having access to education in school, then it's not just hair. Because now how our hair looks mean something. And you as an individual can say that your hair doesn't mean anything to you, but it doesn't mean that how you are perceived is going to reflect that same thing. So the school claims that they're just enforcing dress code, but something that I thought was interesting was this quote. The Texas School District Superintendent says, in quote, "Being an American requires conformity with the positive benefits of unity." I honestly feel like there's a bit of an enjoyment of watching Black people cut their hair. And another thing that I saw online too was there's a clip of a Black girl. It says judge forces a young Black girl to remove her hairstyle if she wanted to compete in an event. And there's like this clip of like a bunch of her, I'm guessing teammates, removing her locks and just her in the center. Like I can only imagine the shame that she's feeling, the embarrassment. But I do think that there's a fixation in Black hair, touching Black hair, removing Black hair, forcing Black people to change their hair, intentionally misunderstanding Black hair, intentionally spewing out a lot of inaccurate things about Black hair just to have us forced to conformity. And if y'all know history, if you know your own history, you would know that one of the biggest things with colonialism was forcing people to cut their hair. And I actually think it has to do with like a form of submission. I feel like when people see that you are cutting your hair for them, it's a form of submitting and like losing your identity and conforming, as that superintendent in Texas said, conforming to this idea that you want to be like them. Like nothing will make you love your oppressors more than trying to look like them and feeling and knowing that you could never do it, but it's a constant aspiration. Having that dynamic will always make the oppressors feel more beautiful and the oppressed constantly chasing that validation. But the idea of Black people having to conform more than others is not something that is new. It is just a subtle, quiet expectation that is always pushed on us, which is why we're always told that our natural hair is not professional and that we always have to be changing ourselves to fit professional standards. I feel like there's been a rise in BlackFishing, but has there really been a rise? I don't know, because it just seems like there's been a consistent thread and it just becomes more and more nuanced. Like I feel like the ways that people are doing technology to Blackfish is just more and more nuanced. I saw, let's watch a video together, because if I have to see it, you got to see it.
Ayan, gawin na naman tayo ngayon at pero
That's wild. This is wild. Y'all, this is wild. This is not normal. You should not be able to go from Jaden Smith to that. Like, it is not normal. Like, the obsession, even the styles, like, the obsession is actually sick. Especially, too, because I have a feeling that if I was to go to your country, the country where they're doing this hairstyle, and I was to walk around with my hair, I have a feeling, just a really strong feeling that I know is accurate. I think I will not be treated with warmth or coolness or reception the same way that this person is for literally doing Blackfishing. A lot of people who want to talk about cultural appreciation also are very much so unaware of the fact that in a lot of Black countries where our hair naturally grows like this, we are criminalized having our hair like this. Something that I think is so sad is that in Jamaica, a Jamaican high court ruled that school was legally right to ban a child with dreadlocks. And I just think that's so wild, especially because there are so many non-Black people who go to Jamaica and be like, oh, I have these dreadlocks, I'm connected to the culture. But literally Black children who have those same locks are systematically banned from things. And ultimately, the hairstyle that these non-Black people are doing is not innate to how their hair grows. Like, no one but Black people can have freeform locks. Not like this. It's not possible, because people keep being like, oh yeah, all you gotta do is not wash your hair. Babes, I washed my hair. I washed my hair the entire time. I didn't withhold washing my hair to have my hair like this. This is how my hair grows. And you know, people want to say like, oh, we're all human race. Like we're all one human race. Whoever said that we weren't? Who was the people that decided that my humanity was not included in that concept of human race? Claiming that we're all human race is not a liberatory thing for me, because who decided that I wasn't a part of being human? Who subjugated my people to being inhumane, to being savages, to being less than? It wasn't me. And at the end of the day, with all these conversations about cultural appropriation, I don't even have the power to do anything about it. It's the other way around. There are a lot of non-Black people that can literally tell Black folks that we should change our hair to be able to get jobs. Like a lot. Like I saw one about a Black girl who had an afro and she wanted to work in a Black hair shop, and literally, but it wasn't owned by Black people, and literally told her that she had to change her hair to work at that hair shop. A Black hair shop. They told her that she had to change her hair. Mind blowing. Okay, let's see another one. And I just have a feeling that y'all Viking ancestors did not walk around like this. Like, in my heart of hearts, I really believe like this was not what y'all's people was doing in the 1800s and the 1400s. I've never, like, when I look at photos of different when I look at photos of this community in the 1600s and 1700s, I just don't see these hairstyles on the lookbook. I don't. And listen, another group that is doing it into the most hardcore way is the K-pop babes. Okay, I feel like, a lot of people who I like K-pop. And for that reason, I'm going to be respectful. Like, I'm going to be respectful how I speak on it. Because a lot of Black people that I like love K-pop. Maybe, I'm a little bit older, so maybe it's like not a generational thing for me like it is for some of the, the younger girlies. But the way that the BlackFishing and the cultural appropriation, as a Black person who grew up listening to 90s music, I feel like a lot of it just sounds like the R&B that people was making 20 years ago. And when I see like the intricate things that people are doing to change their hair to look Black, and then the part that always gets me about cultural appropriation is like they will literally jump out of it and go back to their own race whenever they're like in a new era. And something that I find really interesting about Black hair is people always want to use like Black hair or locks or Black hairstyles or cornrows when they want to put on a persona of being hard. And I think it's because our natural hair is associated with being rough and being tough and being hard. These negative stereotypes actually affect us in really, really negative ways, right? Because it's seen as a hairstyle. Instead of this being like, my hair is not a hairstyle because, well, this is a hairstyle, like, because I put my hair up. But my hair, when it's down 99% of the time, is not a hairstyle because it's just how my hair is growing from my head. But when people put on a hairstyle, right, it's seen as something that they are doing. And that is why I think people are very hard on Black people for their hair, because they see it as something that we're doing to ourselves. We're choosing to be different versus literally doing the hairstyle that is the most accommodating for our hair texture. And, something I found really interesting is whenever I used to fight, and like whenever you would see people get into fights, like professional fights, a lot of times the girls, and I think boys do it too, but they will have their hair in cornrows, like if they're not Black, and their scalp will be looking like it's like literally deep fried in pain. Their scalps will be screaming. Like I can hear the scalp being like, help me, help me. But anyway, they be doing their hair like that. And I find it so interesting that when they're fighting and they want to feel like, they're strong and they're in their hood bag and they're in their, power bag, that's when they're going to dip into the Black hairstyles. But when I go to a ballet recital, or when I see you get appointed as like a Supreme Court justice person, or I see you go to a debutante, is a debutante? I thought a debutante was Black people. If I see you go to like a fancy restaurant, I'm not seeing those hairstyles. So I think it's interesting that when it's like grungy, rough and tough, you want to appropriate the Black hairstyle, or you want to get people to just kind of respond and react to the hair to use it as a viral moment. But our hairstyle is it's not a costume, and that's the issue when you make culture a costume. I've never, I enjoy eating sushi. Like, I like sushi. Do I have a desire to now go and wear, a Japanese style of clothing and change my name to a Japanese name and cosplay, even though it doesn't have the same power systemic imbalance as when it's done the other way around? I have no desire. Like, I just want to eat the sushi. Like, I don't, I have no other interest in dipping into that culture. Like, I'm actually super comfortable in my culture. Like, that's the part, when you have a culture that you're really proud of, you just want to sit in it. I'm very grateful that my hair grows like this. My skin looks like this. I just look like this. Like, I'm cool. I'm happy. I don't feel this anxiety or disconnect to want to be another group that I'm not. And I really hope that people can, see these things and just see the way that it's affecting us. Like, we can literally have laws that are actively hurting us, and people are just still dipping into their cosplaying bag and just having fun. It's really sick. So yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, tell me which part of my look that you like. I am trying to explore with like blush placement. I feel like blush looks better higher up on my face. I don't have any eye makeup. I wasn't in the mood to do anything too ridiculous. I'm trying to see if I can get my outfit in the shot. But I have on a cute little vest with a anarchy sign on the back. If you made it to the end of the video, send me love. I always love hearing it. Let me know what y'all's experience is with this also cultural appropriation. I want to hear. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.